Welcome back, everyone. This time we're talking about sniper rifles. Probably one of my preferred weapons in this game. I've got to start off with my old favourite, really, the old TAC-50. This weapon I know I have used since the very first beta, and I think I've used this sniper rifle ever since. I've tried using a few other ones, but I find this is just better all round for nearly everything. Accuracy is really good, range is the best in the class, mobility is pretty sort of standard, and handling and recoil are pretty standard for a heavy duty sniper rifle. 167 damage, which is the same as the HTI and the M82, except the TAC-50 has a 10 round mag you can equip on it. This uses the 338 ammo, and the reload is just under 4 seconds. Get it Mark 3, increases the damage to the drones, reload speed and mobility, which mobility is where it normally suffers the most, so that does help a lot. I use the extended mag just because it's handy to have extra rounds in the chamber than have a quicker reload speed. Use the suppressor, try and stay off the enemy's radar. Use the T5 Excise sight because that's the highest zoom you can get, and the scope reticule is nice and clear. Usually use the bipod as well, just for the extra range and the reduced sway. Makes it a lot easier for shooting targets over range. You lose a bit of time for it to aim, but that isn't a great deal. It doesn't really seem to affect the gun too much, to be honest. I said this is actually one of the easier weapons to get. You can get this in Smuggler's Cove, I think it is, in one of the bases. And like I said, this is probably, well, in my opinion anyway, the best sniper in the game. The only other sniper I've used which I liked was the HTI, probably because it was in Wildlands, so I was used to this weapon. But if you compare like the stats between the two weapons, this has a little bit less range, accuracy's good, handling, mobility and recoil are all pretty poor really. Has 167 damage again, same ammo, takes a little bit longer to reload, but it can only hold a 5 round magazine, which is the main drawback. Got a suppressor. I usually unequip the suppressor when I want to take out things like drones and that, because that gives you the extra 20% damage again. I use the T5 Excise sight as usual for my snipers, just because it's such a good long range sight. And I'm also using the bipod for the same reasons as the TAC-50, the reduced sway and the increased range. But if you compare the stats, the HTI is actually worse in all categories, and even the M82 is actually less than the TAC-50. I did once, when I was playing with other people, I used to go full sniper basically. I used to carry the TAC-50 and the HTI. Use the TAC-50 taking out human targets and the HTI with I think it's the muzzle brake for taking out drones and hard targets. And pretty much the HTI can take out a vehicle about one shot earlier than the TAC-50 can. This was years ago, I might have changed since then, but that was a little bit more powerful, but not a great deal. And obviously the drawbacks are you have less rounds in a magazine for the HTI. You also reload a bit slower, and the recoil is a lot worse as well. Also the fire rate as well is a lot slower on the HTI. So that's why I've always gone for the TAC-50, just because more rounds in a mag, does roughly the same damage as all the other ones. It's got the best range of the class, and it's just such a nice weapon to use. the fire rate is good enough that it almost fires with each pull of the trigger. And like I said, for a heavy hitting sniper rifle, this is about the only one that lets you actually have a 10 round magazine. So it means you can hit your targets a lot quicker and easier. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you all on the next one.